Well, it's now time for the Prep Spotlight presented by Capital Sports Fieldhouse in Owasso. And this week, it's our pleasure to welcome to 3 Point Podcast. Durand head coach John Webb has his Railroaders rolling. Number 7 in the latest AP poll in Division 6, probably will move up after their win over Gladstone on Friday night. First of all, John, congratulations. It's been quite a turnaround over there in the Railroad City. And man, 6-0 and looking to the end of the season, you know, in the back of your mind, you're thinking, man, where's the playoffs things going to go? But of course, you're going to say 1 week at a time, Chesaning next on the schedule. But let's start with the success of the Railroaders so far. I know your predecessor, Winbigler, did a good job kind of setting the stage for the Railroader program to get out of the funk they were in for a lot of years. And then you took over. You're Durand High School graduate back in the early 2000s. And now you got them believing in things. You're running old-fashioned type of football, smash mouth football, and it's very successful. So tell us a little bit about the Railroaders.
Yeah, well, we run the Power T, and, Coach Winbigler ran the Power T one of the 3 years he was at Durand. But when he left, I thought that was the best. When I was the defensive coordinator, when he was the head coach, and when he left, I thought that was the best offense we had ran in the 3 years he was here. We actually ran 3 different offenses in 3 different seasons he was here. But the Power T, I have Coach Tim Krupp is my offensive coordinator, and he's very comfortable and very knowledgeable with the Power T. This summer we had Edwardsburg come up to Swartz Creek and run a team camp with us. Edwardsburg's been very successful, D4 school, 1,000 kids, and they've averaged like 48 points a game over the last 15 years. And, that really kind of, catapulted us into this season. And, we're averaging about, I think it's 44.5 points a game right now. We've rushed for 2,000 yards in 6 games. Gabe Lynn is, kind of our star running back. That's he's already at 1,000 yards, 20 touchdowns through 6 games. He's a special player, special talent. But I have, we are not a one-man show. We have, 4 or 5 running backs that are all capable of getting the job done. Our quarterback's a senior. Obviously we have, we had 18 returning starters that are seniors. So we're a senior heavy team, and these guys have been together since they were, in playing Pee Wee football together. And, it's a tight group, and it's a special group for us here at Durand for sure.
Yeah, it's awesome to hear the turnaround. And I just want to mention, so I'm from your era. I graduated in early 2000s, and I played wide receiver at Corona. So you're saying I wouldn't want to play in your offense is what you're saying, right?
Well, we say our wide receivers, if we line up our tight ends 1 foot, and then we line them up at 2 foot, and that's what we call them, wide receivers.
Nice. That's funny. No, that's it reminds you of Georgia Tech. And I mean, like, they've had a bunch of great receivers come out of it. Maybe not a bunch. They've had a few great receivers come out of there. So that's
this group was certainly capable. We could be in the spread. We could, like we say, like we could look like Saturday football if we wanted to with this group and be really successful. But for us, it's about building the program.
Sure.
It's something that when you're, maybe your talent level goes up and down in high school football, if you can get a program going, that kids learn at the 7th grade level. We're running it all the way down to the 7th grade level now. And, those kids, will be like my idea is to have like a well-oiled machine with it where they know, they know what to do. And, it's hard to prepare for, we're different in the area. We're the only team in our conference that runs it. So, I think it's can be an advantage for us.
Clearly it's working. And yeah, sometimes you build your offense around the talent that you have, and clearly it's working. But so as I mentioned, I'm from your era, and I mean, you definitely remember, you're a Durand alum. There were some rough years there for Durand, a couple 0-9 seasons and 1-8 seasons. And then maybe more in Jared's era in the 2010s, another little bit of a rough stretch, some more 0-9 seasons and 1-8 seasons. And I'm not saying that to throw shade at Durand as a Corona Cavalier alum. I'm saying that to compliment you and the staff before you in turning around Durand, because you guys are in the midst of 3 straight playoff seasons. And obviously this year, I mean, you're built to make a run possibly to Ford Field. So my question is, what does it take to turn around a program like Durand that, has struggled for a while? Is it just simply you got some talent, or have you had to get the players in the community to buy in? Is it building that system, like you said, all the way down to 7th grade? Kind of what can you attribute to turning around your program?
I mean, obviously everything you said there, I think it's all encompassing. I think, obviously talent, high school football, high schools go through, you don't get to recruit kids in high school football. You get who comes through your school district type thing. So obviously that plays a role, but the belief, it takes the whole community in a town like ours, a small community, this whole community is bought in to, we have so much support right now. And we've been starving for a consistent winner. And now that we've done that for a few years, the support from the school, from the community, from businesses, across the board, parents, once you get people bought in, and it's everybody, because it takes a whole community like that in a small town to really, get over that hump. And once you've done that, it's very hard to get over that hump. When you're down and when you're trying to fight up that hill, it seems like, it's a slippery slope and you can't climb it. But, once you get there, it's like, now you know what it feels like. And the community is, so supportive of us and the high, school administration and everybody. We just have and it, like I said, it's everybody in our community. And obviously the boys have bought into, hitting the weight room. That's been a staple of our program turnaround is our commitment to our Summer Pride program where, we're in the weight room. And that's been a huge, the biggest turnaround has been our summer program, our Summer Pride program, but they don't lift during the summer. It's a 12-month thing, becoming a better athlete, becoming, a bigger, stronger athlete, faster. We had Amari Coleman came over this summer. Again, the support from the community that allowed us to hire Amari to come over and run a speed and agility, program all summer long with us. He came over 2 days a week, former New Lothrop alum or whatever. And he did a great job. The boys really bought in. We had 30 kids up there working speed every Monday and Wednesday with him. And then, our weight program, we were 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday. So, I mean, the kids have just bought in, the parents, the community, and, we just got, now it's our job to keep it rolling,
Yep.
The big game on you guys' schedule that kind of, opened my eyes at least was week 2 against Montrose. It was a bit of a shootout, 56-52.
Yeah.
Can you kind of walk me through that game? I mean, you guys are, Power T. I've never seen a Power Team game like that where it's, both teams in the 50s. What was that game like?
Yeah. The first series of the game, Darren Allward, one of our terrific fullback defensive end, broke his wrist. And so, offensively, we can still roll because we have a good stable of backs, but, defensively it kind of threw us into a little bit of, shock and that. So that kind of, kind of played a part in a little defensive chaos a little bit, which, it is what it is. But, it was unbelievable. If you look at the game, they killed us in time of possession. We kept scoring like in 2 or 3 plays, and then they, we'd get close. They'd be on third down. They'd, get a first down, and just, they were more driving, marching, making plays on us. And they're a good team. They have good athletes. They have good athletes to make plays offensively, but, we just got in that thing where we kept scoring in like less than a minute, and then they would get the ball back, and then they'd have it and they go down and score, and we'd score again real quick. And I'd be like, man, that'd be nice if we just put a drive together, maybe not score in, 30 seconds. So it was a wild one, but we came out on top. We still haven't trailed all season. We had the lead in every game and haven't trailed once all season. So it's, we've had some tight ones. We played some good teams. We played good competition, but we still haven't trailed. And, but that game, it was like I'm telling the guys, like, every time they scored, we can't blink. We got to go back and score again or whatever, and that we just got into that game, and that's just kind of how it went.
John, go ahead.
I'm a bit jealous of you. Being 6-0. I mean, I'm back to my high school days. We had winning teams or whatever, but 6-0 mid-season. I mean, there's no better place to be as a head coach or as a player or whatever. You mentioned the community a little bit earlier. What is it like just kind of walking the halls as a 6-0 team that's AP top 10 ranked? I mean, what's that just kind of like in general?
Yeah, we have some alumni and stuff that I don't think have been around in years, and we had a bunch of alumni up we played Gladstone up in Gaylord last week, and it was a big game, and we had a bunch of guys from our 1977 to 83 era when Coach Fuller was coaching back in our the best days of Durand football. They were up there and they came down after the game, and it's just some things that haven't happened in a long time. It's just really nice to kind of feel that support from everyone, and everyone's kind of paying attention. I've had a lot of, my old high school coach, Bill Altimore, he's texted me a few times and said, how great it is, to see us doing well and stuff. So it just a lot of it makes you feel good. The boys, the boys are riding high. I tell them they're living the times of their life right now. They don't know it yet, but this is going to be the part of their life that they're going to remember and talk about for, forever. So
now, man, as you're saying that, look at the smile that came across all four of our faces. I mean, Jared mentioned it. He had success. I had a little bit of success when I played. Ted did too. Like it's memories that they're never going to forget.
Yeah.
And honestly, you got to try and it's got to be hard to put that into perspective to 16, 17, 18-year-old kids.
It is.
Soak this in right now. Soak this in.
That's what I mean. And that's been my message to them, is like, enjoy it, but you'll never regret working too hard.
No,
give everything you have, and
what you'll regret is if you don't work hard enough.
Exactly.
Well, I'd have a bigger smile on my face if we would have had any success against the Railroaders back in my day. They had our number, but out of respect, I wore the D hat for you here, John.
I
really like what you guys. I really like what you guys have done. When you finished last season, with your playoff loss, you knew you had 18 starters coming back, 9 on offense, 9 on defense. You knew this was going to be a good year. And you kind of touched upon it when, you had Amari Coleman in to work with the team for speed. Was part of your message to the team, in the summer workouts and everything else? Hey guys, we're gonna be special. Stay away from the distractions, the girlfriends, the other distractions that can be out there. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep, absolutely. Our message is always to, protect yourself, protect the team, do everything you can in your power to be the best version of yourself every single day. And, these guys, I'm so proud of, this senior group. I actually, when they were 7th graders is when I started coaching again. I'd coached before, but I had kind of stepped away. I had young kids and stuff. And I started coaching this group when they were in 7th grade, this senior class. So I coached them when they were in 7th grade. I actually went up to the varsity when they were in 8th grade, but then I got them back. I told them, they're like, oh, we want you to stay coaching us. And I said, well, I'm going to get to coach you the next 4 years, guys. Trust me, it'll be better. So, I've been a part of these kids' lives for a long time, football and wrestling, because I run our wrestling program as well over here. And, they're a special group to me. I've watched them grow up, and they're just a special group of kids. They do everything the right way. They're good kids on and off the field. Just enjoy it. We're going to enjoy this season because, they mean a lot to me. And, they're not only them, their parents, their families, we're a big family over here. So it's pretty exciting.
It's something that makes smaller communities. It can happen at bigger communities too, but the smaller communities, it's something that makes it special because you know everyone. I mean, like you said, you've known these since these kids were in middle school. So, sometimes you know them since they were playing pee-wee football, kicks football, or whatever when they're 4th, 5th grade. So it's cool. I was going to ask you about, I know you've got a big one. You've got to take care of business this week. In 2 weeks, you've got a big one looming with a powerhouse in our area, or I guess your guys' area. I'm in North Carolina now, but in mid-Michigan, New Lothrop. You got New Lothrop coming in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Are you even preparing for that, or are you like, nope, we've got a game this week, that's all we're thinking about?
Yep.
Yep, exactly.
I got what you're saying. I get it.
Good answer.
Chesaning is 3-3. Chesaning's playing a lot better football this year.
Yep.
They got a new coach, and they're playing much improved football from last season. We beat them 42-0 last year, but I see a different Chesaning team on the field, on the tape this year. They're playing hard, and they've been, they were only 2 points from, I think it was 16-14. Montrose New Lothrop was beating them at halftime when they played, and one of their scores was actually a pick six. So they're playing much better football. So to look ahead, would be foolish for us. But obviously, it's been a date that we've had circled, for 12 months. Us and Lothrop played a very good football game against them last year. It was I think they were beating us 21-20 at halftime. We actually got out to a 14-0 lead on last year, and we just weren't able to sustain it for 4 quarters. And that's been part of our message this year is we're going to continue to pound people into the ground and not like our offensive line has been we're pretty much trying to play those guys one way, and later in games it's really paid off for us. We're we figured we average about 285 pounds across the offensive line, 5 seniors. They're all strong kids, big kids, and they just wear on guys. They only play on the D line very sporadically, which for a school our size is a really nice advantage to have. And it's kind of been a plan for us, going all these years. We've been trying to say that we got enough of you seniors that when you're seniors, let's try to go one way as much as we can with everyone. And I do think it's paid off later in games, and these big games that we've had already this year. It's allowed us to kind of grind teams down.
Yeah.
One last question from me, Coach. We talk all the time on this pod about the old MMB, conference, and I don't want to get you in trouble with your athletic director or anything like that. We always say, how much we missed it and how much we wish that was still a thing. Teams like Chesaning, Corunna, Durand. Do you ever think about how much fun it would be to play in a conference with all those schools? Our local Shiawassee County schools.
Yeah, I do. I don't want to play Mount Pleasant and Greenville and Ionia and back when I was in school, I said, who made our schedule? We played St. John's when I was a junior and senior. The 2 crossover games. That was the only flaw to that league, I think.
Right.
I think it would have to be morphed a little because I look back and I'm like, why were we we had scheduled games against teams that were 4 times our size in football.
Right.
And now teams wouldn't even, unless they're trying to, get playoff points for playing a bad Division I school or something like that. But like teams don't schedule league games that have that size disparity. And so, but like when we were in school, that's the only bad thing. But, I would love to get the old Corunna rivalry fired back up, at some point. That's me true. Anybody back from our area and beyond, that's something that would be kind of cool to get back going. And if I have my choice, that we'll be doing it here in the next few years.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking before you came on how much we would have loved to have seen that game this year. I mean, Corunna lost, Durand's unbeaten. It would have been a lot of fun to see.
Absolutely. Yeah, we did 7-on-7 with Corunna this summer. Last year we actually did a camp with them. Fair State came down and did a camp. So yeah, Steve Herrick's, we get along really well, and he's doing a great job over there at Corunna. And we talk we text occasionally after games, as the year goes on. So,
cool.
maybe the rivalry's a little more friendly than it was back when we played. I don't know.
Yeah,
well,
let's hope.
You're not playing each other, so
yeah, right.
Right. Well, I know there's an opening in your conference, so maybe I'll put a call in to the athletic directors to see what we can do. We're big proponents. We can say whatever we want on this podcast, but we've talked about it, man. We think Corunna fits in your league just perfectly, but other people make that decisions. One final question for you, John. What do you got to do maybe to make a deep playoff run? You talked about your offensive line, and let's throw a few props out. You obviously must run right quite a bit because you got the big right tackle and Dylan McDonald, 6'6", 350, and then 260-pound Tyler Caesar right next to him at guard. I mean, is that going to be the key? The line play and see how deep you go.
Yeah, I mean, obviously controlling the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball really, is where we win or lose ball games flat out. We have to control the line. If we get dominated up front, in our offense, it looks really bad. That's when people are screaming from the stands, throw the ball, but and obviously health. Like early in this year, we actually have had more injuries than we've had in a lot of years, like since we've been doing it. And it's like, man, not this year, So Evan Sampson, our second team All-State defensive end, went to the hospital game 1 thought he broke his foot, so he hasn't been healthy. But he's getting healthy. He looked in this Gladstone game. He was the healthiest he's been since week 1. Allward played in against Gladstone as well in a club, but we had a few other dinged up guys or whatever, but we're really starting to get healthy right now at the right time. So being healthy, and being fresh and physical, and I think we have a pretty good shot to make a deep playoff run. Our motto's been, it's been since 1983 since we've hung a football banner of any kind in our gym, and that's been our mantra all year. That let's hang a banner. A league championship, a district championship, a regional championship. Let's hang a banner, and all those goals are still in front of us.
Well, I'll tell you what, John, all three of us are former Cavaliers. And like I said, I didn't have any success against Durand in either football or basketball, but you were big rivals. It was always class acts when we played each other, got to know the people afterwards. And I can say for all three of us that we're pulling for the Railroaders. Finish it up strong. It's great to see you guys having the success you're having. And a whole lot of that is due to your work and your staff and what you put into it. So again, thanks for taking the time out to joining us here on this little podcast, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you having me on.
All right.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John. Good stuff, man.
Nice.
We got a live studio audience tonight.
Nice.